I'm so sorry. Well, I know it's not my fault, but I came as soon as I could. Let me check your temperature real quick. Let me just feel your forehead. Yeah, you're really burning up now. I'm sorry. Well, tell me about how you're feeling. Yeah, that makes sense. I hope you didn't catch anything from me. I was sick a little recently as well, but I thought I was careful about it. It's not worth thinking about now. Okay, first of all, have you eaten anything? Well, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You don't look all that well, so it makes sense you've been in bed all day. Not to worry, not to worry. I will go and get you some soup a little bit later, and make sure that you eat something, but not until I make sure that you're okay. I'm so sorry. I remember the last time I got really sick, and I was just frustrated the entire time because I felt like I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. I couldn't take care of myself right, and everything was just more annoying. I know. You're very sweet. I know it's not my fault, but the least I can do is stay here and try to make you feel better. It might honestly be the weather. You might have just caught a cold or something like that. Hey, I'll be honest. The house is the number one place that infection is transmitted. I feel as though us living together is only going to make this more likely. To be honest, already, if what you had was terribly contagious, I feel as though I would have caught it already. I'm okay to be near to you. It's alright. No, it's alright. I've probably caught it already, to be fair. I'd rather you just feel comfortable, not lonely at this time, so I'll do my best. I'll do my best to look after you. A little bit too warm. That would make sense. Try. Hold on. Of course. Just on your forehead, okay? Just to make you feel better. No, I'm not scared. Shh. Okay. Why would you be worried about me? I'm fine. I'm not sick. Inevitably, if I did catch something from you, it would probably set in after you get better, so then you get a chance to take care of me. Hmm? Of course I can hold your hand. Of course I can. Hold on, hold on. I brought you some soup, okay? You have that, okay? It's nice and warm, so if you're feeling feverish, I think it ought to help. It'll also go down easy. You don't want to force yourself to have any foods that might not agree with you at the moment. So just sip on it at your heart's content. Don't force yourself to have it all right away. If it gets cold, I can always run off and heat it up, okay? Blow on it, of course I can. If it's a bit too hot. And that's better. So, until you're feeling better, I think I'd better just stay here. I'd like to keep you company. All that we can do today is try to help you feel better. So, I think all I'm going to do is just relax with you. Let's spend the day and try to help make sure you rest enough. And hopefully by the end of the day you might feel a little bit better. Rest is important, you know this. So once we've got everything figured out, it should be okay. Bored? No. Spending time with my favorite person in the world? How could I ever be bored? How could I ever be bored? Plus, I brought myself my own cup of tea too, so, you know, I'm not wanting for anything. So yes, let's set that soup down by the side of the bed. You can sit up and have a sip anytime you need it. But in the meantime, why don't you nestle down in bed and try as hard as you can to relax. Just whatever you can do to relax. That's good. Much better. Oh, you need to stop it with stuff like that. You've asked me that question too many times. You didn't need to do anything to deserve me. You're just you, alright? I fell in love with you because I like you as you are, and that doesn't change when you get sick. Even if you're a little snotty and gross, you're still the person I fell in love with, so don't worry. Seeing you in a compromised position only makes me care for you more. I'm sorry that you aren't really used to having people take care of you. It's just should be that way for everybody, shouldn't it? No, I don't want any of your soup. It's all for you. Even if you don't finish it, I wouldn't want you to go hungry. Let me crawl in bed with you for a second. Is that okay? Do you want to let me cuddle up with you? Okay. You're not a bird. Getting sick is just a part of being alive. You know, the thing about getting ill is that I think it's the great equalizer, almost. I feel this way about rain. Think about us. What we are is two people sat together in your bedroom while we try to take care of each other. But someone else, no matter how mighty or how powerful or famous or rich, they'd be in the exact same position as us if they got sick. No matter how successful or anything, if they get sick, they need to be looked after just like you do. It's like I was saying about the rain. Rain affects us all in the same way. The only equalizer is an umbrella. Some mega rich person trying to fly away in their private jet, well, if the weather was too bad, they wouldn't be able to fly either. Just think about that, okay? And remember how even though it's all a little, it makes you feel guilty. Everyone else in the world has to deal with this sometimes. So take it on your chin and remember that it's going to be okay, and that you're not a burden to me for needing help. Okay. chest now. It's okay. Thank you. Let me hold you. Well, I wouldn't want for anything else. Just to make you feel safe. So, the rest of the day is all up to you. As long as you stay here and keep rested, we can do anything you like. If you'd like to take a nap, you can go ahead and take a nap. If you'd like to watch something, we can do that. Of course. Just for now, I'll stay with you. Bedtime story? What, are you feeling sleepy? I can tell you a little story if you want. I just have to think of what to say. I don't know how much there is in the world that you don't know about me. Okay. Let's settle down in bed. And if you fall asleep, don't worry, I'll stay here. I won't try to get up and wake you. Just getting to lie here and hold you is fine, even if you're asleep, okay? So, recently I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been reading a lot about history and about different cultures during different time periods and how technology changes, how society's mixed and all of that kind of thing. It's very interesting. And I read a story and it really stuck out to me. I thought it was very romantic, and I'll try and tell it to you in as interesting of a way as I can. So, maybe you've heard it before. So, back in sort of the late 16th century, early 17th century, Japan was divided into all of these different clans, and a lot of them were at war with each other. Some were big and some were very, very small. And I remember reading about this one very high up, sort of at the northernmost point of the central island of Japan. It's a very, very tiny tiny little clan, but there was a lot of the scripture and a lot of the literature about this place was different than everywhere else. It seemed to sort of be less of a warfaring nation and more of a sanctuary. I read a story about how during times of war there was the necessity that even though they were a peacefaring nation, obviously sometimes they would need to act in a way that would protect their people, even if it was a little cruel. So I read a story that the lord or the ruler of this little clan had captured somebody. He had thought they were a spy, and in that dungeon he sort of kept them for some years, you know. I'm not sure. I think it's sort of disputed how long it actually was, but they were down there for quite some time. But then, if you read some accounts from the diaries that were recovered from the area after, well, I believe something happened to that castle, but I'm not sure. If you were to read some of the journals, it was reported that years after their release, sometimes the lord of that castle could be seen spending time with the person that he had captured. After their release, it seems as though they integrated into that society and they would spend time together in private. And it's really interesting. To think about how that must have come about. No one really knows. There's no real interview with either of them. No first-person account. But it sounds like one of those times when two people are just drawn to each other. There's no strict reason or not much sense behind it. They just fell in love. Far-fetched? Oh, a little. Definitely. But then again, I think most of the good love stories are. Yeah. Just like you and me. It's a shame. Because of the time period. A lot of people died young. I'd like to imagine that maybe those two lived long for each other. Maybe they lasted longer than the others. I think they did get married, yes. I think they did. At least I'd like to hope so. Maybe it would have to be a secret marriage. A lord falling for one of his subjects, a prisoner even still, is definitely a matter of controversy, so it would have had to be very secretive. It's a little far-fetched, yes, but it's true. At least based on the accounts from the time. There are a lot of interesting stories about that time. Oh, you want some more soup? Yeah. Open up. There you go. Let me know when you've had enough. Tell me when to stop, okay? There you go. There you go. Have some tea as well. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so. Come in. I'd like to think our love is like that. The way we met was just as ridiculous, wasn't it? Do you remember when we met? I think I might have been wearing the same outfit. Although I think my hair was a little different back then. Oh yes, no, I'm glad we don't have to be a secret either. I like showing you off. I like that the world knows we're together. Oh, I know you like showing me off too. We're quite an item, aren't we? Back then it was... Why'd you have to say that? Now I'm all hot and bothered, yes. I like that you belong to me too. When we first met, I can't remember the name of the place, but we were both at the same bar. I was spending some time with my friends, and you had been having a really difficult day. Yeah, you looked in a daze. All those strange characters you'd been running into. I remember. I'm so thankful that I decided to approach you then. I mean, you know I am. As soon as I walked in, you really caught my eye, and to be truthful, I had planned on just approaching you as normal. trying to chat you up, but not only did you look zoned out and out of it, I could just kind of tell that you were very sad. I don't know. I don't know how I could tell. I don't know. I'm an empath. I could just tell, and I came up to you, and I asked if you needed help. And the rest was history. You know, I remember how vulnerable you were that night. It made me sad. You were so vulnerable and you wanted love so badly. You tried to tell me you loved me the same night that we first met. Do you remember what I said? I said, don't say that. Because your love is not something to be given away lightly. And just because I'd been kind doesn't mean that I was guaranteed it. Even though I felt the same. I didn't want you going forward in life feeling like you owed people love just for being shown basic kindness. Really, any person in there should have done what I did. I'm just very lucky. Very lucky that no one else did, and I had the chance to have you all for myself. It definitely felt like love at first sight. Yeah, maybe it was just meant to be. Maybe everyone else in the bar was holding off because fate had other plans. Oh, a wedding, what a weird... What a weird experience that was. A wedding. After teary-eyed and I love you too. Teary-eyed and all full of hope, anxiety, and anticipation, I proposed to you on the beach, and we cried and we hugged and we kissed, and the world was right. We stood at the altar, being read our vows. The priest kept stumbling over his lines. And then, right as I was about to say, I do, there there was this whole gang of people who busted in who looked exactly like me. Now, I'm glad we could have just relaxed after that night. Because if you had asked me for an explanation, I don't think I would have been able to give you one. Maybe it is fate that we wound up together, because it seems like every person you find yourself entangled with, it looks a lot like me, just with a long line of different professions. The priest did seem very familiar. I felt like I'd seen him before, but I can't remember where. Oh. Story for another time, I guess. If I ever do remember. Yeah. That police officer was a bit of a dish, wasn't he? Obviously, nothing compared to you, but I was kind of struck with it. I was like, oh damn. Well, nothing compared to you. It's hard to imagine anything compared to you. It might sound a bit morbid, but I can't tell if it's sad or comforting to me that couples who grow old together, they tend to die very close to one another. Have you ever thought about why that might be? I can't tell if it's sad or if it's heartwarming. It's a bit of both. It's bittersweet. Well, I thought heartbreak too, and there's a lot of people who talk about sort of the specifics of dying of a broken heart. Me, I think it all falls down to someone reaching an age where living is a challenge, but the challenge is never great enough to lose time spent with the person they love. At that point, when they're both retired, their only occupation is each other, and they live, they wake up, they keep up with their daily tasks for each other and only for each other. I think I met someone once whose grandparents had recently passed away. And the grandfather, he passed away less than 24 hours after his wife. And they spoke to him before he did. And he wasn't sad, oddly. He said his granddad wasn't sad. His granddad just sort of said, well, that's it. They had both known that one day it would come, and then when it did, he realized, well, I think I'm all done with life now. Without the person that he loved, he was just sort of ready to go. And then he died peacefully in his sleep the same day. I'm still trying to figure out if that makes me sad or if it makes me weirdly happy, because truly that is love. And yeah, it makes sense when you reach a certain age, it's sort of there's not much else left for you apart from the person you love, and then when you don't have them, what do you have? Me personally, when I die, I should like to do so with a smile. I like to think you feel the same way, right? To just sort of go thinking back on your life and being happy at all that you did. Smiling and thinking about how great everything was. And knowing that you'll get to meet up with everyone in heaven once it's all over. Sorry, I got carried away. I know you're sick, but you're not gonna die. You're fine. Don't hit me with that. Don't hit me with that paranoia. You're gonna be fine. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do believe in the afterlife. I don't know why I have this obsession or this sort of idea, but I don't really know what afterlife there'll be. Which of the many organized religions in the world are right, or if any of them. Maybe I should ask that priest again. All I know is that if there's heaven, I want to go there. Sometimes I'd like to imagine lots of different things are true. Maybe when we die, we sort of go into like a lobby almost, and we get asked, what would you like to do next? And maybe you can choose to pass on. Maybe you can choose to become something else, reincarnate, and maybe it's like, you know what? But if that's true, if that's the case, I wonder if all the people who come back as like krill or a housefly, is that like a challenge for them? Are they like, ooh, I've lived 100 comfortable lives. Maybe I'll have a challenge this time. Maybe I'll have a challenge this time. Exactly. They picked the challenge mode. But even still, they would be 1 trillion. What would you like to be? If you had a chance to reincarnate, what would you like to be? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I think being a house pet would be kind of relaxing. I often think this about sort of periods in our lives where the amount of work we have to do can change. You know, we're very busy with things at the moment. And I remember during periods of my life where I would want more to do. If I was bored, I would want work to do. And then when I have work to do, I just crave moments where I get to do nothing for a while. I think, ideally, living a whole life where you push everything to its fullest extent, you go as far and as hard as you possibly can, reach the very limits of what you're capable of. Then, in your next life, come back as like someone's dog or something, so you just get to chill. It's amazing how, not always, but most of the time, the life of a pet is so perfect. Think about the life of a dog. Their day. And I think it's more for dogs than it is for cats. I mean, cats are just independent, you know. They'll take food where they get it and just kind of chill. But a dog, every day they wake up and they see someone that they're so impossibly and totally in love with. They see their owner and they think, wow, I love that person. And they wag their tails and they wonder, what are we going to do today? And they go outside and they get excited about everything. Have you ever seen an energetic dog on a walk? The way they sniff everything. Like they see a little patch of grass and they think, oh, what's that? And they go over somewhere else, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? And they go back and forth, just checking everything out. Imagine growing old and everything being interesting. Nothing loses its interest. You just walk around, love your owner, and feel interested and happy with everything that happens. The hardest part would be when you get left alone and you don't understand what's going on. That made me very upset. Have you ever had that before? Have you ever had that with someone where it felt like they left you alone and you didn't really understand why? And so you can't text them out of desperation asking, where are you? Because if nothing's wrong, then they're going to be weirded out. So you just have to sit and breathe and wait and wait and wait, hoping nothing is actually wrong. I had that with a friend a long time before I met you. I remember we had planned to meet up quite late to hang out, but they were really late. Like hours late. And I just sat at home, rocking back and forth, wondering, my only thought in my head, what if they had an accident? What if something happened? But knowing you can't check up too much, what if they're driving? You know, they're not going to be able to respond to a text or anything. So you just wait. Scary. It's scary how much more intense life is when you care. It's like a double-edged sword. It's definitely worth it, you know? The wealth of experiences and the depth of a person's happiness. If they allow themselves to care, allow themselves to love, you open yourself up to far more pain, but you will see and experience far more happiness than you ever would otherwise. More soup? Of course. Of course. Hold on. Of course, darling. There you are. Open wide. Come on. There you go. There you go. That's my sweet thing. You like that? Ah. Have I ever told you how cute you are? And I know I have, but I'm going to tell you again. You're very cute. I can't stop smiling. Especially now. You know, I have a question. Maybe you can help me. Why is it when you put milk in your tea, you leave the tea for about 10 minutes, and then there's that like thin layer on top of like, is it cream? What is it? It's gross. Whenever my parents make tea, that never happens, but it always happens when I do it. The fat? Yeah, is that it? It's really gross. The fats like rise to the top. How do I stop that from happening? How do I stop that? Sorry, I know you're sick. I don't want to try low-fat milk. I like fatty milk. It tastes good. Oh. Maybe I'm boiling my kettle a bit too hot. I just have to stir it? Oh. Really? Huh. Hold on. Give me a spoon. I mean, that did fix it, like, temporarily, but I know it's just gonna happen again. No, I do stir. I stir it every time. It just happens afterwards. I mean, look, I stirred it then, and it's coming back. It's coming back. Oh, well. I reckon it's something to do with, like, I remember hearing someone mention it's about boiling the milk. Like, you need to be gentler when you put the milk in, but I always forget because I'm in a rush when I make tea. Do not say milk soup, that's disgusting. You're the one who's sick here. Stop saying those things to me. That's disgusting. Milk stew? Well, I mean, isn't milk stew technically just curry? You know, like when you make the curry sauce with milk, and you sort of finish off cooking all of the ingredients in the sauce. Isn't that technically milk stew? I mean, yeah, you should. I mean, coconut milk is still milk. Look at the second word in that ingredient. It's still milk. This is some of that logic. Do you remember? Did you ever see that person who was saying, like that cereal is soup? Because soup is like a flavor base with added liquid, and so the cereal itself flavors the milk, the cereal is the soup base, and then the milk is the liquid. So technically, cereal is soup. I don't want to think that it is, but like it actually technically kind of is, isn't it? If you really think about it, it actually kind of is. It's the ocean soup. Well, I mean, it's nicely seasoned, isn't it? It's got lots of salt in it. Yeah, coffee is bean soup, and tea is leaf soup. Really, anything that's flavored hot water is just soup. I'm sorry, you're sick. I shouldn't be stressing you out. That is true. There is called soup. It's gazpacho. You know, talking about all this food, and gazpacho especially, it's just making me think about how excited I am to get to spend more time with you. Not right now, because you're ill. Is bathwater human soup? Oh. Well, I don't think I don't think skin has like enough flavor to really justify like flavoring an entire bath. Like it'd be a very weak soup. It'd just feel like you were drinking water. I mean, technically, we've all got sort of oils and stuff on our skin. So maybe a little bit. That is interesting. If you dissolved in a bath, if you turned into foam, like a mermaid, then yeah, that'd be like soup. But, you know, anyway. Like I was saying before you decided to put that terrible thought in my head. I think for a long time before I met you, I was kind of living only to necessity, you know? I used to be a real recluse. I used to be very scared to interact with people, and I would only ever really go out if absolutely necessary. I was scared to be around people for a long time, and you change that. But of course, in that time, what I would do is I would, only eat what basic things I could afford, because, you didn't used to be able to make all this money online. I wasn't able to make all that much money, so I kind of just lived on noodles and soup and bread, water, whatever it was. Now I'm out here, and now I'm with you. I'm realizing how much more of the world that there is to see. It's amazing. I mean, I used to be very ignorant about, some of the finer things in life. You see those stories on social media about paying a lot for a course in a fancy restaurant, and then it turns out to give you a very small portion size. Like, maybe you'll pay $20 for an appetizer, and the appetizer tends to be like a little piece of tofu, like a radish on it or something. And then saying, oh, I would ask for a refund or whatever it is, but then you actually taste it. And suddenly the small portion size makes sense, because have you ever thought about how the first bite you take of a meal is always the best? Have you ever gone to your favorite restaurant? Maybe it's pizza, maybe it's something else. The instant you take your first bite is that, and then after that, it just sort of slowly becomes just food, And that's why fancy dining is so cool, though. Because the portions are so small, and there are so many different portions. Every bite is the best bite. You savor the most beautiful flavor made with the most rarest and most beautiful ingredients you've ever tasted, and then immediately it's like, no, we have to move on. There's even more. And there's a whole world of this. Just waiting to be found. And that's just in the food. There's art to look at, there's wine to taste, there's so much to do. And I didn't know. At least not until I met you. Thank you. Oh yeah, well, I did love music, of course. But I still don't feel like I understood it nearly half as well as I do now. That would be nice. Maybe once you're better, we can go for a picnic. let's go for a picnic. And let's try going to a restaurant we've never been to before. Something with really good reviews. Something that supposedly got a lot of buzz around it. See what all the fuss is about. My treat for you. Yeah, nothing's stopping us. We can spend the whole day. Life is ours to choose how to live now. You know, you are right about that. Eating in nature is very interesting. You know, maybe... I'd love it if there was some restaurant that was fully set outdoors, but in a very interesting environment. Oh, darling, of course I would. I don't care what that dress code is. Even if you're a worm, you're getting in with me. I'll have you sit on a chair for humans. Enjoy the food, or at least as much of it as you can. I mean, one of those tiny fine dining portions would be really big if you were a worm. I remember as I was coming back from work to come see you, to come take care of you, I remember I got off, you called me and you told me that you were sick, and then I started coming home. The instant the call ended, it wound up like going back to Twitter, which had refreshed, and there was this picture of taken from this guy on a plane, and next to him is a couple, and it's just captioned, she asked if he would still he said he wouldn't still date her if she was a worm, and she is crying. I felt really bad. I mean, yeah, it's silly, but that's also just one of those questions you just don't get wrong. You know? It's some deep-seated stuff. It's important. Poor girl. Poor girl. Yeah, not as lucky as you are, darling. I'd be very happy to be married to the prettiest worm in the world. Oh, you're so right. It's really clever. Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, in sickness and in health, and even if he turns into a worm, as long as you both shall live? If I was the ruler of a country, or if I was the founder of a religion, those would be in the wedding vows. Absolutely. But you know what? Oh, now that's funny. Now that's funny. Listen, if I was... Alright, so let's take that a step further, right? If I was good enough for that, if I could be the ruler of something, maybe I could be the god of something. Maybe I can change the rules, right? That's part of the wedding vows. And then I spice it up a little bit. What if, in my fictional country with my fictional religion, randomly turning into a worm is something that can actually happen. That when you go to sleep, there's a very small chance that when you wake up you will be a worm. And then a completely random chance that you will suddenly change back. It's the same small chance, so like less than 1%, like, well, it would have to be, if it was less than 1, if it was like 0.5%, it would still happen like twice to a person twice a year, so it would have to be like 1 in 10, 20,000 or something. Yeah, turning into a worm is RNG, and then turning back is like the same level of RNG. I think that'd be really funny. I think that'd be really funny. Yeah. Imagine becoming a worm and then turning back the next day. So you get put in like a little worm enclosure. You get put in like a little glass box with all the soil, and then you turn back and you just like crash out of the glass box with soil everywhere, and you're like, oh, false alarm. That'd be really funny. Have I ever told you how lucky I am? How lucky I am that I get to spend time with someone as beautiful as you, who not only loves me for who I am, but also lets me talk about ridiculous bullshit like that even when they're sick. You really are one of a kind. It's like we're made for each other. No, I wouldn't want it any other way. Me neither. You want some more soup? Shh, I got you. Don't worry, don't worry. Here you go, here you go. Say, No. This is your soup. Don't worry. If I want soup, I'm not sick, so I can go out and get some. You don't have that luxury right now, so this is yours, right? There you go. So good, eating all your soup. Oh, well done. Alright. Are you feeling sleepy? forget that I'm ill. It's like I can't feel it anymore. I'm so distracted by how happy I am to see you and how pretty you are. I just forget. Just for today, you're the cute one, okay? I'm the one who's having to look after you. You better be nice to me. I would sleep, but you've got my heart all racing now. Thinking about the future. I've never seen such a perfect scene. I mean, maybe I have, but the rain on the window. Your head resting on my chest. This beautiful home that we have together. I just have so much to be thankful for, don't I? I love living with you too. I love you too. So, how do you feel now? Do you need anything else? I can go to the store. I can get you a hot water bottle if you need it. I can get you some more soup. Okay. I was worried. We started rambling and maybe I wasn't taking as good care of you as I should be. Good. I'm glad you're happy. I'm right here. Don't worry. I'm right here. Oh, you want a hot water bottle? Yeah, of course. Maybe we can keep cuddling and you can sort of slip that between us. Then I'll get a little bit of warmth as well. Hold on. I think it might be underneath the bed somewhere. Hold on, let me have a look. Ah, there it is. Hold on. Some water for it. I got this nice kettle for the soup that keeps water hot for a long time, so it should be all good for you. There you go. It's alright. Hey, it's alright. I hope that makes the pain a little bit better. If it's not warm enough, just let me know. Poor thing. Poor thing. I know you're worried, but I don't really care if you get me sick. sick, I don't know if I could go one day without kissing you. It would feel like a nightmare. I think being sick is worth making sure I get to kiss you every day. Well, it might be alright by the morning, but even if it's not, even if it's not, I'll still be here. Me? No. I won't do any work tomorrow. Finished for the day today, so you're going to be my priority. Yeah, it's like I said. If I get sick, then I get the luxury of being taken care of by you. Spoil you. I do love to spoil you. If there's one person on earth who deserves to be spoiled, it's you. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't feed you poisonous mushrooms so I could take care of you, because guess what? That's really weird. That's a really weird thing to do. We shouldn't be taking after characters from that film. And, by the way, I don't need you to be sick for me to dote on you. I will dote on you as many times as I like. And as often as I like. You're always so delicate for me. No matter how healthy or sick you are, it doesn't change the fact that you're just so little and so delicate. I'll always take care of you. Wrap you up. Treat you like a fine vase. My little flower. I'll make sure that no one crushes you, so I'll always be able to smell your petals. It's true. And forget-me-not is my favorite flower, but I won't need to worry about forgetting you because you'll always be with me, won't you? Just as I'll always be with you. In sickness and in health. Oh God, no. No, you're going to be fine. I think you've just got the flu or something. Whatever it is you've got, you'll be fine. I tell you, if what you had was serious, I would not be sat here. God. I would not be sat here gently reading you stories and feeding you soup. I would load you into my car and I would rush you to the most expensive doctor in the world. I wouldn't rest until you were better. I don't think. It's like I said earlier. If you ever died, I don't think I'd be very far behind. So it's in my best interest to make sure that you're healthy all the time. If things were serious, you would know. And they're not. Right now, you're safe. Right now, you're just a little bit under the weather. But you'll get better. You always do. Safe and sound here with me. Come here. Shh. start to feel a bit worse. Maybe the hot water bottle's gone cold. Maybe you need more soup. Maybe you need some warm tea. Don't hesitate to wake me up, okay? I know you did. Okay. Just rest for me then. Let your head fall into my chest. Listen to that heartbeat. And remember that I'm not going anywhere. Not until you're better. Oh. Sweet little Kindred. No, I'm not hungry. Don't worry. Hold my hand, of course. Let's lock our fingers together. safe too.